History is full of tragic misunderstandings. Some end in heartbreak, some in exile, and some in full-scale war because someone didn't proofread. You'd think launching an invasion would require serious planning, intelligence, maybe a map. But no, sometimes all it takes is a typo. This is the story of how poor grammar, bad translation, and a suspicious amount of overconfidence have nearly plunged countries into conflict. Because if there's one thing humanity does better than peace, it's paperwork gone wrong. Welcome to Diplomacy, brought to you by autocorrect, ego, and 600 years of not reading the fine print. Typos are usually harmless. They make your tweets look dumb. They ruin resumes. They occasionally get someone fired from a corporate newsletter. But sometimes, typos escalate. One misplaced comma, one mistranslated word, one overconfident diplomat with a shaky grasp of Latin. And suddenly you're not just miscommunicating, you're threatening someone's borders. Because when you're dealing with powdered wigs or missile silos, clarity is not optional. It's a life or death punctuation mark. And yet, history keeps repeating itself, because apparently we're better at starting wars than a running spell check. Germany, 1917. World War I is dragging on like an awkward dinner party that no one can leave. Germany, desperate for an edge, sends a secret telegram to Mexico. The message? Hey, if America joins the war, maybe you could attack them. We'll totally help you get Texas back. Yes, Germany, mid-World War, offered Mexico a second shot at Texas, as if Mexico had been quietly seething about it for 70 years. Unfortunately for Germany, British intelligence intercepted the telegram. And because British intelligence has two settings, top secret and let's tell the Americans, they leaked it. But there was a problem. The telegram was encrypted, then decrypted, then translated, then badly explained to President Wilson. The end result? The US thought Germany was declaring war via Mexican proxy. Spoiler, they weren't. But by the time everyone realized the message might have just been aggressively hypothetical, the damage was done. America joined the war. Germany was shocked. Mexico said, wait, what now? And the world learned that if you're going to incite global conflict, maybe don't send it via Western Union. The Cold War, a decades-long standoff where world powers built enough nukes to destroy Earth 5 times over and still found time to argue over verbs. 1956, Soviet leader Khrushchev bangs his shoe on a desk at the United Nations and says, "We will bury you." Terrifying, right? Sounds like the opening line of a Bond villain's TED Talk. Except that might not be what he meant. Some translators later argued the phrase was closer to, "We will outlast you," or "History is on our side." If you've ever had to rely on Google Translate during a date, then you already understand the chaos. But once the headline, "Khrushchev threatens West with burial," hit the Western press, the damage was done. Fear escalated. The arms race surged. Everyone checked their fallout shelters. Again. Because in geopolitics, tense vibes and bad grammar are a toxic mix. July 1953, the Korean War is dragging on. Tens of thousands are dead. Millions are displaced. The world wants a ceasefire. But the negotiations stuck for weeks because of a comma. One disputed clause in the draft Armistice read differently depending on where the comma was placed. North Korea said it meant one thing. South Korea disagreed. The US was like, can we just agree to disagree and stop dying? The comma affected prisoner repatriation, a key clause. And no side wanted to admit they were being out-grammared. In the end, the deal went through, but not before an entire week was wasted arguing over punctuation. Literally, turns out the Oxford comma isn't just a hill people die on in Facebook arguments. It's a hill people almost died on globally. So what have we learned? That entire wars can begin not with a bang, but with a bad translation. a misunderstood phrase, or the absence of a comma. That men in suits with nuclear codes are still just people, panicking over the diplomatic equivalent of autocorrect. That politicians, out of ego, are willing to send other people's sons, never their own, to their deaths just to massage their pride, or perhaps to cover up the fact that they maybe, just maybe, forgot to proofread the document, is both tragic and absurd. That language in all its power can either resolve a crisis or escalate it into a historical embarrassment. And most importantly, spell check is not a suggestion, it's national security. So the next time you accidentally text "I hate you" instead of "I have you," don't worry, you're not alone. Entire nations have made worse mistakes, and some of them had tanks. What's your favorite historical typo or translation fail? Drop it in the comments, because we're collecting them. You know, in case we ever need to draft a peace treaty in a hurry.